For those who are new in the space, this is an open forum. We call it our how-to session. You freely can ask questions that we will answer and share in the knowledge gain, everybody. We ask to keep it organized that you raise your hand using the Zoom icon and we'll bring you forward. I also have Robert assisting me with the answers in the chat. So if you do not want to ask openly, you can ask internally and we will give you the best answers possible. I offer a recap of all that we create here or discuss on through different channels. I'm going to post the links in the chat. So we have our newsletter, How To, where the recaps of these videos are posted. I also have our team section, where as much as I can, I try to build content there and make it available following up our discussion. And we also have the Zoom, the YouTube, where I first upload these videos there to then share them across the different links. Good for everybody? Perfect, perfect. So we'll open the round of questions. So you can start if you have a question that you've been looking for answers. Raise your hand. Go ahead, Arva. We'll start with you. I'll be happy to see you and hear from
Hi.
you.
Well, you're
Hi.
not going to see me. I'm not online. But so I
Mhm,
just want to know, it looks like when I use the social to lead,
mhm.
that initially it does a hold on. Let me go back to the one. Initially it shows me highlights, but then when I go back to the contact, the highlights aren't there anymore.
Hmm. Okay, we'll take a look at that. So for everybody new in this space, we're looking at this tool, social, to lead. So I'm going to do this with one. And at that point, we'll also get to see how we can use this tool. I'm going to be doing this on Facebook. What was the topic of interest that you were searching for, Aura? The
Well, it was just a person, like I was just doing, so you could even do anyone that you already have a screenshot for. It doesn't matter.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was a person and it did all of the information and it was great and it did highlights, but then when I went back to it, the highlights weren't there anymore.
So I brought in this screen capture. We're going to see what it produced and we'll see the highlights. Um, the highlights are usually on the left side under the contact information, correct? This is what you're
Correct.
referring
Yeah,
to.
that's
Yeah.
what I'm referring
Okay.
to. Yeah.
It could be that at first it's giving you those highlight as an indication, then leaving space for you to enter your own notes. But I'm pretty sure that the information remains in place, although I haven't noticed that disappearing app on my
Yeah,
side
I
yet.
happen to notice it because the highlights are actually AI. Because it even has, like when it first comes up, it's showing that it's AI. It was created, and AI highlights, and it's really good. But then when I go back to the contact, it's like there's these double lines where it was, and then it's not there anymore.
Well, okay, so we have our prospect. So this is what we are
Yes,
referring to currently.
correct.
So the problem is that if we step out and then we come back,
Well, go to some other go to another contact or something, just
contact.
to show because you just did that one. So just go to any other contact and was that okay.
Yeah,
So
it would be hard for me to say since I didn't pay
yeah,
attention to the fact here. So that's
yeah,
why I
no
was going to do.
problem.
We'll refresh the tool and see if the other one disappears. That
Right.
would be the best testing I could do here. I'll do another one just to try to see if I can throw the computer off there, and then we'll
Okay.
come back and see. So I did a few ones there. I'll play around with the enhance info, the notes and such, just to create some history, and then we'll come back and see the effect.
Right. And refresh though. Did you actually? Okay, yours
It's
is
still
still
here. I'm going to
okay.
refresh and see if it disappears.
Or I wonder if can you do just to humor me, do another one and then see if that one goes missing.
Absolutely.
because that's what it seems like is that, or either I did bring it up, I think on the Thursday call or something. I don't know if it was fixed from then because some of my older ones I'm not seeing it, but I'm
Mm,
wondering if it only keeps the last highlights.
let's troubleshoot. That is also a good way of reaching answers, testing and seeing. Lori, you had your hand up, but then I figured that you got your answer. Do you want to come back and ask your question? Otherwise, I'll go to Robert while this is turning and see when experimenting it. Oh, Robert, do you mind while this is thinking, or I'll get Robert's question and then we'll
No,
see. Mhm.
my connection keeps on going out.
Okay,
My question is on the website building. Okay. I have reached my limit of saved messages,
okay. Save
saved sections,
sections.
saved sections. How do you delete saved sections that you've already saved so I can add more to their
Okay,
old?
yeah, just like any other construction block, you'll notice next to it, there will be a cross. I'm gonna, well, here we have our highlights here. That's gonna
Hmm.
be a good. I'm gonna go to the website, answer the question. That should refresh, and I'll
Right.
come back and see. For you, Lori, here when you have your save sections here, hopefully I have some here. So save section. You notice you have your three dots here. So you'll go, for example, I'll erase one of the last ones. I'll click on the three dots and I have
Okay,
delete here.
so go back. How did you get to right there where you are right now?
You have to open your construction block. So you see, I'm back at zero. I'm going to click here on the digital pencil. It opens up all my construction
Got it.
blocks and right under my save section and the legacy ones. So we're looking at save sections and then we create those, we maintain those with these three dots. For those
Okay.
new in this exercise, you can create those save sections. For example, you see, if I click here, I have this floppy disk and I could save it as, for example, my digital card. Uh, you see card, the card, I'll see card here. Oh, double A and save. And that becomes a construction block that I can use across my platform. So for example, if I wanted to create a duplicate of that, not that would work, but that would be interesting. But you see how I have my card and boom, I can drop it. So this whole section becomes a construction block that I can pre-use across different website. We're going to go back to you, the last contact. And yes, Robert, in the meantime, you can and ask your question.
Okay, my question. Hello. Yeah, my question is about the mobile nav app,
Okay.
and so from what I understand is you take a picture, a snapshot of like a profile,
Mhm.
but I can't figure out how to get it into nav.
Same thing. You would go to your contact session, or do you have your mobile in hand right now?
Yeah, I got it in my hand right now. So go to
When you go
contact.
to the Yeah, when you go to contact, you should have the option, depending on your mobile interface. Look at the different options that you have because you would still be able to navigate to your contact, and you would have this extra option that's social to lead. Can you see it on your side?
Uh, in the mobile app,
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Okay. I'll try to bring in my phone to the conversation. Of course, the interface could be different. Okay, so I'll go through a practical exercise on that. But on your side for now, take a look at the icons, navigation icons that you have on your phone, and you're looking for that icon, social to lead, if I'm not mistaken. Do you have a better way of describing that, Robert?
No, it just I can't.
No, I was going to my weak man, Robert Bakley. Do you have another way of? Have you been using the Nav app on mobile?
No, I don't do
No.
a lot of mobile marketing, but the way you explain it sounds perfect. Oh.
Okay, perfect. I'll sign in during the course of this, and I'll do the demonstration as well from my phone.
Yeah, I see it too. On the bottom. It's on the bottom of my mobile. It says nav.
Mhm.
There's one, two, three, four, five. There's five icons. Home, contacts, nav is right in the middle.
In Teams.
Teams and
Yeah,
marketing.
yeah, I have all that.
Mhm.
But when I go, yeah, but I can't figure out how to, like I said, import the picture or the snapshot into the nav or into contact.
The sales to nav, the social. Okay, let me just see
Oh,
here.
yeah, I know what
Yeah.
he's talking about. Has that been even launched
No,
yet?
yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, the social to nav, I don't think is available yet on the mobile app. So you just have to be patient a little bit. Do you
Oh,
have access to your desktop? You
yes.
Okay, perfect. For now, try that on your desktop. By tomorrow, I'll come back on that answer and keep you informed on the expected date if I have any. And if it requires um, refresh, it's always good whenever we do launch. If everybody hasn't, it's always good to refresh the application just in case. Okay. But so far, no updates on that. So you have access to the nav only. For now, the social to nav is to come in the next, well, in an appropriate time, I would say. I won't say an expected time.
All right. Thank
Works? Perfect, perfect. Uh, Patrice?
Can
Hey,
we
how are you doing?
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Can you
sorry.
just so we can dismiss this whole thing?
Mhm.
Can you just now go back to the previous one to see if the highlights are there? So,
Yeah, actually, I did actually in the midst of all that from the website. When I
okay.
did the demonstration, I came back to the last one, which was Emma, and the highlights were still there.
Okay. That's the
Maybe
last one or the previous one?
Oh, previous one. Well, I did. Oh, I'll go back to the previous one as well.
Right.
Here,
That's
still here.
okay, great.
Yeah,
All right.
because
So
I
maybe
pulled these two ones and then stepped up, refresh. Try it on your side maybe and see if that highlights come back and disappears. If so, then we might have to troubleshoot that. But from the looks of it, it's would have been fixed.
okay, thank you.
Perfect. Other questions?
There's
No,
something
but hey,
in
there was
I was
a.
trying to ask a question.
Go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
Patrice.
Yeah. I'm just curious on websites there, how many customer forms are you allowed to have on a website? Can you
Well,
have one on each page?
you can put, okay, I'll answer that question, but you have to be careful with that. Okay. The
Okay.
answer is yes, you can put a form on every page, but you don't expect that it creates different outcomes because all these forms are going to lead to the same list, and that list will be connected to the same email campaign, right? Because usually when you're doing that, when you're putting multiple forms, you expect different action from these forms, correct?
No, the same action. It's
Okay,
just so they don't
perfect.
have to, if I've got a website that has, say, 5 pages, right?
Okay.
It's just so they don't have to navigate back to the first page.
Okay, you can do that. Yeah, that way, have a form placed on every page, or you can use the option of redirecting back to the anchored form on the opt-in page, for example, depending on what you want to do it. But yes, that is a way of doing it as well. It's possible.
Okay, so I can put one on each page of
Yeah,
okay. All right.
perfect.
Because what I
If
did is I made an external page, an external contact form that they can go ahead and, if they click a button, it goes to an external outside of the website, then they can go back
Mhm.
to the home, which takes them to the
Exactly.
website. But I wanted to actually just put one on each page. That's what I
Perfect.
wanted to do.
No, you can do that. There's many ways of doing it. You keep in
Okay.
mind what you want to accomplish, however you feel it's simpler for your prospect journey. See the
And then I
result,
would
and
just
then
and then I would just set the same settings for each page.
yeah. Essentially, coming back to what we have just discovered, we can do this here. For example,
Okay.
save my form. Might as well practice what we just covered here,
Yeah.
and then at this point, whatever page I create, so add one page or page one, for example, page one. When I navigate to that, I can actually use that form
Yeah.
over and over, right? So you can do that. So it's a perfect case example.
Yeah.
Create your basic form and then page after pages, you can do that. Or simply put, if you're going to be doing that, if the pages are not already created, you can duplicate the page each time. Duplicate the page each time and start with that.
Oh, you can duplicate page.
Yeah. So you see here, I'm on page one, page two. So page one, copy and such.
Got it.
So you have three dots here, allows you to manipulate basically these pages. That's usually how I start designing. I'll create my first page with the color, the
Yeah.
title format, and then I keep duplicating, just rearranging the disposition sections after sections.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Perfect. Anything else in this space
So,
in terms of what?
yes, actual Virgil, there was questions in here, and believe it or not, we weren't sure how to answer them. Maybe you know the answer. I've never been asked this before, but apparently there's a limit. Obviously, there's a limit on the save sections if you have to delete stuff.
Yes.
Do you know what that limit is? Is it 50?
No, I have to. I reached it, but I never took time to count.
If we
So
could
I have to
find that
apologize
out
for
and
that.
maybe
Yeah.
get that back to everybody so everybody knows.
Yes.
Not that it's a huge thing, but obviously if you reach a limit and you're having to delete things, then you reach the limit.
Yeah. Well, that's. I'll definitely
Not to be
inquire on that.
sarcastic, but yeah.
Yeah. But again, I have to be honest with you. Very rarely you will be using this tool and hitting the limit if you're using it the right way. If you're using it the right way,
My
you're not
my
hitting
thought
your limits.
my thought
Mm,
was also is like, well, if you have that many saved sections, I wonder why. And maybe you probably overstepped or, reduplicated something that you didn't need to duplicate for sure.
exactly. Perfect. Um, I
I
hope that
yield.
answered the questions. I'll come back with a clarification, or I'll
Yeah,
put it
for
to
sure.
test tonight. I'll try to save as maximum and then let you know, okay, I capped out at this amount. If I can, one way or another, I'll have that answer. Okay, Paul, how can I assist? Oh, you're muted. Go ahead.
Okay, there we go.
Mm,
Thank you. First thing is, I obviously have to schedule some time with you because I need basic training. This is way, way, way over my head. The second thing is that I sent an email out as a test yesterday or the day before, and it came out really good. AI did a great job putting the words in my mouth. And then down at the bottom of the email, it said, learn more. I thought, oh, okay, I didn't know that was there. So I clicked on it and it went to something called Stealth Guard. And I thought, I don't want to learn about Stealth Guard, but I thought it was some sort of an antivirus thing. So I downloaded it and then I went ahead and Googled it and I couldn't find it anywhere. And I thought, oh, crap. So I deleted the whole thing now because I thought it was some sort of a virus thing, not a stealth guard, a
okay.
stealth promoter.
Okay. I would have to see what that link ended up being, but to recap on what you've done, when you're creating, and this is going to be a good walkthrough for everybody here, when you're creating a email through our system, you're greeted with this interface. We're in the email section here. I created on I'm generating a new email, and it's asking me for basic information. So I'm just putting a welcome here, and I'm going to generate that email just to get to what basically Paul saw. The learn more actually falls into the intention for which you're building this email, right? Because the idea here, this is what you ended up seeing. Now,
Right.
depending on your firewalls, when this came through, it might have assigned by default a link there. But however, you will see that in the editor, it will be prompting you here to replace this link, right? So
Oh,
technically, when you build your email, you have to have in mind a call to action, a purpose for which you are communicating this conversation to the audience or to the prospect. And you have to think about what you want them to do, right? So here you're called or you're expected to have this link updated. If what was the purpose? I should ask you in that regards, Paul. You sending
well,
out that first email, what was the purpose? Well, what did you expect the recipient to do if it
oh,
was running?
well, like I said, it was a draft just to me to see if I had the mechanics down.
Mhm.
I think I had two email addresses on it, and it wound up going to both of them very nicely. But now that you went down there, I think I didn't, when I drafted the email, the learn more was below the
The text.
boundary down there. So I didn't even see it. So I
Good.
didn't see it until I received the email, and that's what screwed it all up. That makes total sense.
Perfect. I love, first of all, I love the way you're approaching your own immersion into the tool, testing, looking at the outcome, and inquiring. That's great. It will have you slingshot yourself out of the learning curve in no time. And to add to this, to even get a better result at it and use and starting right with the tool, I'm just going to backtrack a little bit here because the result of what you are getting out of the AI starts with what you are doing here in the business profile. Anchor your business conversation properly, right? Because to come back to the email, the intention behind that email, the how the client gets to buy into the interest of that conversation is also put in perspective when you're drafting these, right? This is what I'm offering. This is who I'll be sending this conversation to. And when they receive it, this is how they take advantage of that content, right? Whatever you're doing across the platform, whether it's on website or in the email space or even in the host, keep that general mechanic in mind. What, who, how? What am I doing here? Who am I talking to? How are they supposed to get back to me on this interest, right? And adding that at the stage where you are discovering will have you cement the right mechanic from the beginning. Okay, good,
Yes, thank you very
perfect.
much.
For the first
I look forward to learning more.
Absolutely. And for the first question you asked, how to schedule meetings on your account, bottom right here, we have our chat. Okay. You have 24 hours support in the conversation. And you can also just request a booking link here, right? So you send a meeting, I want to book a meeting, or I want to have a nerd link for a meeting. And you could decide which time and date to come in. Works?
Okay, and I
Uh,
think I've done it before, but it was I think a couple years ago even. So I've been trying to get back into it. I think you and I met then, and the time was limited, right? Just the 50 minutes or something like that.
Yes, they're
Okay,
usually power minutes, power session, 15 minutes, which is more than enough not to overwhelm you, get you on the process step by step. Right?
okay,
Perfect.
good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, by the way, before we leave, also on your account, home resources, see more. There's a lot there, the calendar and also tutorials. I recommend going through these. They help. It's basic mechanics, but they help. Robert, you want to add to it?
Yes, actually, could you, Paul is asking if you could go back over and review how to copy a Facebook page and drag it into search to lead.
Absolutely, absolutely.
They're having issues with Nav for some reason.
Okay. So I'm on social media, Facebook. I did hear a search, general search by interest, right? When you are going to be going on social media, uh, when you're going to be going on social media, I'm just going to refresh this. When you're going to be going on social media looking for prospect, you're going to be targeting specific interests. These interests are tied to the keyword. In this case, I'm looking for marketing. I'm going to go here. The idea is that you want to expand your reach and you want to get people. I'm getting a pop-up message here from Facebook. Sorry, it's just throwing me off there. I'm just going to wait, refresh this. Okay. So the idea is that okay, yeah, it's going to ask, I'm going to refresh this because my Facebook is crashing for some reason. So I'll start from scratch. So you start up on Facebook or whatever interest you are looking at. You can go at keywords, search for keywords. So I'm back into the marketing. I'm looking at the group here because I see there's a lot of members, 70 members, 79 or 70,000, sorry, members. I'm sure to find somebody that is interested or interesting in that group. First thing. So here, I'm not going to go too far. I have the first person here, Soraya Janet. Okay, so my concept is this person, I found them in a marketing group. So they are definitely interested in marketing something, either their tool or the interest. Here, it seems that she's doing something on Amazon. So great, she could have an interest in the tool. From this point on, all I'm going to do is bring up my snipping tool since I am on my desktop. It's the way I can capture image. And what I'm doing basically is screen capturing the information here as much as I can. Okay, so I have her profile and such. Actually, I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to go view the profile here to even get a better idea of her persona. I'm going to zoom out a little bit here so I can get a better feel of this. And now I'm going to do the screen capture so I can get as much as I can from this profile, looking at the banner, the name, and maybe a little bit of that intro information there. So I'm going to save that on my computer. Okay. Not sure if you'll be able to see that part. So here, perfect. So far, so good for everybody, right? So we have just found a subject, screen capture basically their profile. Then I'm going to take it back to our NowSite tool. I'm going to go back to the contact section. And I have here now, for those who have Nav, social to lead. Right. So this is where I have this interface. And at this point, I'm just following the instructions on screen. Here, I can drag or upload the screen capture that I just produced. So I'm going to upload it. And here, the last screen capture, I'll bring it in. So I have it here, if you can see. And then I'll click on Add to Contact. At this point, the AI picks up the workload. It will go out there looking at this information, scouring the net, trying to find whatever we can on this person and bring it back into your contact session as being part of your CRM. Good so far? While this is running the search, Tina, you have a question?
I do, but I can wait so it goes in a good sequence. A couple of my colleagues that are on here with me, the activity that you and I did yesterday together on our call, on our meeting, I'm not able to, they've asked me to how they take their contacts and turn them into a CSV file and then drag them into the CSV file. The question is, how do they get their contacts over there? Do they need to do a spreadsheet first? And then
yeah,
so they don't have to do them individually. They're, they want to bring them all in together. So I guess just some guidance there when you're done with this.
Okay. Okay. I'll cover that. So at this point, for everybody that was following this, so this is what we have received from her profile. One of the things that are important when we're getting this, I find, is the personality. Oh, wait, it's still working here. Let's refresh this. So one of the things that are important when we receive it is the personality analysis, because now we know how to talk to people. But this didn't enhance, so I'm going to enhance and see. Content enhancement. I'll do the personality analysis as well. Oh, seems in this case I don't have enough information to get the personality analysis. Okay, so I'll try it again. It's going to be a good exercise to repeat. So I'm going to step back again, back on Facebook. I'm back in the same group that I was looking at, and I go down the list and see. Be careful, however, when you're selecting these profiles, that you're not selecting a product page or a business profile from somebody else. Okay, so this is why it's important to take a look at these profiles, see that these are actually real people that have an interest. Take a look also at their activity while you're at it. This person is effectively working or busy, because I can see that there's a steady stream of posts. He's worth contacting. I can see at a glance here that there's a lot of information where you have the same interests. Website developer, what tool are you using? Definitely would love to have that conversation with you. So already, I am already here, and I already know what the information or conversation is going to lead to. So I'm just going to save this one and try. And then we'll answer the question from Tina. One thing that I most likely would want to know is how we are starting this. If the contacts of your team members, Tina, are on Word, or are they, where are the contact coming from? Where is the initial list? Because, for example, if I have it on a Word document, then most likely what I'll do is turn that Word document in either a table and Then that table I can copy and paste it in Excel, or I would start directly in Excel. Which medium are you using first to gather your names and your emails or social media? Now I think even more with
I'm
what
sorry,
we are.
Virgil. I'm sorry. Before you do that, that's a page. That's not, you're not going to get any information. I just don't want you to go through, go
Oh,
back.
I it
Yeah,
was actually a product page. I missed that.
that's a page. It's not, see, you could tell it's a
Yeah,
page.
I can follow here.
Yeah, because you can only follow, and then somewhere else it said page. And then also, if you don't see friends, then that means it's not a personal, you know what I'm saying? It's not
Yes.
person. So I'm sorry to cut you off, but I didn't
No,
want
no, 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 no.
you
You didn't. That was a good add-on, a real good scan of the situation. I didn't take a look at the full profile. What caught my attention is that this person, it is a product page, but it
right.
seems to be a product page about him, right? So I think I got caught by this. Mm, just for curiosity, let's see what it produces because I
Okay.
assume that if you're creating a product page about you, then you are also making some kind of information about you available. So that is um, um, uh, um, an, a test, right? Good practice would have you adhere to what I said. Take a look at the type of page that we are. If it's talking more about a business, then walk away from that. I fall into the cracks of that conversation because this person is using his name as a product. I do sometimes that. Let's see how it happens and what it produces.
Okay. Just saying,
It's
because I
very,
know I've
very nice.
tried it and I got
Mm,
an error. It came back as an error or
error.
something. I forgot what it said, but okay.
Was it also like that? A personal page,
It
a
was a
product
page.
page,
Yeah,
a
with a
product?
person's name.
Okay.
Yeah, but we'll see. Okay, sorry.
No, no, no. Good note. During the conversation, I didn't glance fully at that, and I actually did against what I preached, right? Saying, "Hey, make sure that you're looking at the uh, personal page, not product page." And this one is an in-between product, a product page used with a persona to well, which is good because he's using his name to become the brand ambassador of his service. We did get a little bit of information. We have the Facebook. We have the highlights as well. Let me see uh, what kind of and sense info. So yeah, we got very little personal information because it's a product page, but we do get a personality around him. That's not bad. See, okay. Does that at least answer the question, the demonstration on how to get these leads, the mechanic from going from social to uh, the platform, the lead, social to lead for everybody? Perfect. And yes, good point noted, Arba. As much as possible, I would suggest, yes, stick to it. Try to see if we can go to his personal page. And let me just see if I could do that actually. It can be a second test. Now that I'm a little curious. And then we'll go to Tina's. So,
Actually, it might have, because what
hmm,
happened with me one time is I did, I was looking at someone's one of their profiles and then but the social to lead, when you go to the contact, it had a different link that I wouldn't have known about. So it might, your social to lead might have given this other link. So I was impressed about that. The fact that it gave me a different link for that person.
definitely. The more we are closer to the person, the stronger the result. That's definitely something to keep in mind. I was trying to see if I could figure him out by name, but it's bring other Liam there, so it would require a deeper investigation
Well,
if it were something.
click the link in NowSite to see if it's even taking you to that
This one here?
site. Yep.
Yep, it's taking
Oh,
me to the right one.
okay. Yeah.
Mm,
It was interesting what happened with me.
okay, perfect. Okay, so for Tina, I definitely most if you are do are your team member downloading their contact from one platform to the other, or where are we starting out with the contact? Because, for example, here, for those who are not familiar with Excel, if you have a Word document with name, email, Facebook, whatever information you want to import, then you can open up an Excel document. There are tutorials for it, but it's pretty straightforward, right? So you have columns here, okay, and you have rows. And what we're trying to do is get these to match the fields that we need to import in NowSite. Often enough, you'll get, for example, let me just see, I might have a list that I can show here. Oh, here, I'm actually going to open one of our lists, our nav list. Oh, okay. So this is a perfect example. You can see here there's a nightmare happening in this Excel document. I just opened it. And if you are new to this and you want to do quick changes, right? The only thing that you're going to do is look at these tabs here, A, B, C, D. Notice that these match certain names in the first row. And these are what we're interested in, right? So here, for example, I'm going to grab, if I select the first tab, and you guys can all see this, right? Give me a one in the chat so I'm not losing you, since this is a little bit technical for those who are not good at this. So you can see A, B, C. If I select a column, I can go to the edge of it and drag it just so I can see what is happening. Now, this is definitely a bad one. Wow. Everything got mixed up into one column. So, okay, I'm going to try another one there because I would need to sort this one out. So we're going to go to another one, a simpler one. Let me see. Grab this one here. Okay. So this one is a little bit more organized. As you can see, I have the same format, A, B, C, D, and I have here my first name, last name, and emails. Okay, so this is what you would want to end up with, depending on what you're importing. Specific tabs outline as such. I'm going to try to bring another document that would be less messier. Something, let me see. Okay. But I also don't want to share lists that are not mine there. Let me see. Oh, actually, I'll do this the easiest way. I'm just going to go to one of my lists in my account and I'll download them, and then I'll rework the sheet, and you'll see you can download certain lists from NowSite if you have acquired them organically. And I'll show you what they intend to look like, and then we will rework them as if we were re-importing them. So let me go to something that is interesting. Again, I think this one would be interesting. Okay, so this is one of my lists, for example. So just going to go back to that list. Is it again? Broke me back out. So here I'm going to export. That's going to give me a raw Excel document. Depending on where you're getting your documents from, you will most likely end up with fields that you don't need. Okay. Just make sure that I did import it properly. Okay. No, it didn't give me something good. Try this one, then export this one. Okay, that's good enough for an example. So here. So can you see this list? There's only one contact, right? And there's a lot of wanted tabs, right? So often enough, when you're getting your Excel documents, if you're getting an Excel document from somebody, you will have these type of unwanted fields. So going back to what we were discussing, what we're interested in, always basic information. So first, last name, email, phone number is the case. And now with the lead to social, anything that has to do with Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram are things that you would want to keep in the list if you're formatting it before bringing it in. So here, for example, I don't need this column, so I'm going to highlight it and just delete the column and so on. So when you're getting your Excel documents and you need to format them, with the basic knowledge that you have, you're just aiming at what is happening in these ABC tabs. More importantly, the different fields, the different columns name. So here, for example, I don't need this bounce column. No, first name I need, last name I need, email I need, telephone number I would need, website I don't have, but I would need, and this created on, which is data useless to me, I wouldn't need. So you see, this is how you would reformat any Excel document that you would receive, right? Once you formatted it, of course, there's deeper tools that you can use, but we're not in that space. So make so that you're not, this doesn't exist for me right now. Once I formatted this, all I'm going to do is go back to the file option and save as. Okay. Saving as will give you the option to save this in CSV. Okay. And when you're saving, I'm not sure if you're able to see this drop down menu that is happening. Let me just try to see.
Everyone can see it. You're
You
good.
can see it? Perfect. So when you're looking at your option, you have different options here. Okay. So stick to the CSV MS-DOS format. Okay, this is the one that you want to use. Okay, this is the one that I regularly use. I'll put it to the test. So I'm going to save it. Okay, it says it already exists. So what I'll do is I'll say no, I'll name it 2 or reformat it. So I'm going to save it. Yes, so now it's saved. So now if you see, if I go back to my tool to update it or to re-import it at that point. So I'm going to go back. So now I want to import it back, CSV, select, and I have it here. I'm going to open it. And you see that all the fields that I left are only the ones that are remaining on the column of my header. And on the other side, we're trying to match them. Okay, so first name, and you'll see that it will do some basic work. Since it knows what we're looking for, it's going to try to match it. Okay, so if you're getting Excel documents or if you have old Excel documents and you want to maintain them to bring them back into the list, this is what you would do. Okay, now there's also one thing that I recommended because I came across this exercise a couple of times. I'm going to finish this here. When you click here, see there was only one person, so it outlined the information. It was only me, and import, I would put the name. New, for example, test list. Okay. Now, there's one thing also that came across these type of conversation because I have Tina and I had other people that had lists that they were looking to import. And there's one thing that came to mind. Since the purpose of importing this list was to get as much information as we could on these people, I suggested that before we try to bulk import it, let's go through these Facebook, especially if this links, because if the idea goes beyond email, right? If the list has email, the reason why I'm importing this list is to take advantage of the email tool as well. Let's not forget that this is part of our strategy. We shouldn't forget tools that are already part of our strategy as we start using new tools. We should understand how they fall into what we are doing our workflow to make it easier, right? So if I'm looking at importing a list because of the social to nav tool and that list actually has social media links, before importing it, I'm going to take the time to go on these different social media links and start looking at, is it interesting? Is this profile worth bringing in? Oh, you're going to have to share that, Robert. You're going to have to share that cake. We see you eating it. We wanted to. So keep that in mind, right? Yes, it may sound tedious, but I would think that if you're receiving a list and you're not sure where it's coming from, you would want to sort out the people's interest, the people's value, all right, in accord to your workflow. So by doing this ahead of time, you're actually saving time further down the road, because what happens next is the same. You're going to bulk import them. You have them for the email tool, but now you're going to have to either enhance the contact and see what it brings you, or decide to go to Nav and actually do the raw search and see what you get, right? I recommend if you are doing a quality approach and you have these lists and they have the potential of being high value list and they do have the social media, well, keep that in mind. Take a look at their social media, do that client discovery. And if right there they are worth it, when you import them, remember that there's a last stage that you want to decide in which list, for example, I'm going to be organizing this new contact so that I line them up with a pre-established email campaign with call to action, right? So let's think about our workflow overall and think about that additional tool and how to practically use it. If social nav is the interest in the list, then let's look at the list directly and snapshotting these, because as we bring them, we get more than just their Facebook on the list. We get everything that comes with the personality analysis, enhanced info if there is available, and sometimes even more contact that we came in with. Good for everybody? Perfect. I want to hear experience, people using the tool. What had happens? What are the difficulties beyond the list and deciding who we are importing? What other difficulties have we been seeing or encountering?
I don't have a difficulty, but I do have something I want to share that someone found me on LinkedIn and said they want to network, and the person is being like very forward
Mhm.
and not really saying what he wants to network about. And he doesn't, instead of getting on my calendar, he just wants me to call him or call me or whatever. So I used that social to lead to do a personality, on it. And it was like so on point. It said like this person is very forward, very arrogant, or whatever. I was like, God, yeah, really. So I'm just saying that really helped me to understand who I was dealing with.
Wow, I love it. I love that share. That's an off use of the platform that is actually something to keep in mind, because now you're able to filter who you want to respond to. Sometimes, yeah, when we get, because he might be not aware of his forwardness, right? And he just might be actually the perfect sales associate that you would need. Somebody on your team that would be out there hammering different platform if they have that torch to carry. So sometimes it's like that. That was a great. And did you end up reaching out to him or not?
He's like texting me now because he wants me to text him back when I'm available. I'm like, I don't operate like that, but and no, I don't think he's a person to add to my team. I think he's really trying to sell me something,
Something.
you know. So I'm just like, yeah.
Okay. Well, I think like in anything, it's good set the boundary, because at this point, that's where this is a good share, because this is going to get us into something that eventually we all will need to understand, handling the dynamics of certain conversation like that, right? Because this is it. He's a pushy person. He might not be a bad person. He could be coming off very wrong. He might, in the end, be somebody that will disrupt my organization or infuse momentum to it. I do not know. How do I approach this, right? First thing first, using the tool was a great reflex. Let me see if this person has things that I can know, right? Then the next part I would suggest would be suggest to creating boundary, because you're in a you're in a relationship or in an engagement here where this person is showing itself persistent. So whatever response he get, he will consider always the open door to how he can reach you. Right. So set the boundary and then you decide if you really want to talk to him, which date and time he will have to adhere to come into the fold. This is also great show of leadership. For example, if you really want to work with me because you like what you saw, this is what you will need to conform yourself to. So you set the rhythm. Because in the end, like I said, he might be somebody that is eager and needs to be challenged, channel. What did we see on his social media profiles? If did it give you an impression that he's out there, very proactive, and doesn't take no
Oh,
for an answer?
yeah, it told me, hold on a second, because I was like reading this to my husband, because I was just like, I'm done with this dude. Um, hold on, I got it, because it was something very specific that I was like, this is so on point that he said it says about his behavior that he says something bluntly without details, immediately projecting assertiveness and confidence. Um, and for a meeting, be prepared for pushback. And there was something that it was like so obvious about him. Oh, that he likes to debate. Something about that he's going to oh, resistant. Here it is. Tends to be the overall one said tends to be direct, task focused, fast paced, and resistant to rigid structures.
Ooh, so free thinker, free minder, free actor, but still with a director type energy, directing type energy. Yeah, that could be a complicated conversation to navigate. And
I
yeah, you
want to
might
send
want.
him mine. It's like only thing I want to respond to him with is my personality and my stressors and my pain points, and he's hitting them all.
Well, rephrase that. This falls into taking control of the conversation. Rephrase that and interaction that way. I love the way I love the passion and you're straightforward this, but this is what this is generating. If you properly want to deal business with me, you're gonna have to conform to this. And this comes back to exactly that, stating your ground. Because again, this is business. Could be something that opens up to something great or something that is worthless. You decide, but in all case scenario, moving forward, you're going to take control of that conversation. All right. This is important, I think, going forward for everybody. Last time we discussed about the workflow and people getting stuck in certain zone like building rapport, right? And this could be an example of that. We're stuck in this zone. We won't go forward at building the rapport with this one because his conversation approach is not rubbing us the right way. But if we needed to, imagine this was actually somebody that had the potential or the value of becoming a great customer, we wouldn't have the choice to proceed, right? When you're out there on the front and the opponent is coming your way, you don't get to choose, oh, you know what, fight my buddy here and I'll go. No, no, you have to face on the conversation. So it could be a good exercise to take on, trying to see, okay, well, let's troubleshoot this conversation. Let's see how far we go into the control of this conversation to use that as experience for other case study, less energetic persona. But keep that in mind as well. Sometimes you have the choice. Sometimes the opportunity dictates the choice to make, right? So keep that in mind. I mean, from what you looked and from what you got from him, the question is the most important. Does I like it? He needs nice. I love that one. Um,
Exactly. That was, you know what? I'll be sure to share if I ever do engage in a conversation with him.
Perfect. Definitely. We want to see the rest to be continued. He definitely needs outside to communicate. Yeah, but great case study in all direction. Um, this is what we are going to be confronted to now. I think we are getting to realize that the same way we're going to be soliciting people through NAV, we're going to get response back. The more we get active out there, Facebook and the community around Facebook will pick up on that, and we will get into these type of exchanges as well. So as much as we are navigating the conversation to get to our point, we also have to understand that we're also going to have to navigate certain conversations that are coming at us, and we can turn them to our advantage. This is also one of the way that we grow. If I go looking for you, I have to go looking for you when I need to talk to you. If you're coming looking for me, then I don't have to force that part. Guess what? Getting you to sit down for a meeting is no longer the problem. You're probably, in this case, this person is gunning for this meeting, but he's skipping all the conversation flow that would make us agreeable to meet him.
Right. And that's
So
the point that I really want to make, is that now that we have these tools, to be able to do that, some people who may like that approach or whatever may engage in a conversation, but who knows, he could be a good contact or not, but I'm not feeling it because he really did not build any kind of rapport. I don't even know why he wants to meet. So I'm just saying, when we're using this tool, be sensitive to the fact that you have to look at that other person's personality. And if you come in like a bulldozer, you may miss that opportunity for that first engagement with that person, because they may just be off put by your approach.
exactly. It's just fundamental. He missed the mark at hello. He did not build that rapport. And that could have happened with the first message. Hey, Arba, I see that you're network marketing. So am I. I have this product and you probably have some too. Let's talk about it. Let's meet now. It's urgent. You would have reacted different to that, right? Okay, he's talking about marketing. He did see me. I do see him. It's about that part. It can happen in one message. It should happen before we go to the next part. So this is great, great exchange, learning process from both end, from our end trying to reach customers, and from what not to do when we're reaching out to customer. In this case, this client or this potential, he has lost on a great connection here with Arba, because she's a great connection to have, but he's too brash. He didn't respect the rule that we are advocating here. Build a rapport, connect, build a rapport, present yourself, introduce, and then get to the meeting.
And it's not like I'm not one of those people that like chit chat. You don't have to ask me what's the weather like, where do I live, blah, 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 but at least tell me what you're coming at me with. He's just like, let's network. And so I said, when people say let's network, I'm like, great, here's my calendar. Oh, and then he, like, I don't use calendars. Just, I mean, yeah, I don't use calendars. Just you text me when you're available. I'll let you know when I'm available. I'm like, that's so 1990.
I was about to ask that, what age? Because it looks to be operating by the old book, the old code. I got the connection. Let's talk. Why are we wasting time?
Yeah.
Perfect. We're at the end of our time, so I hope this was informative. I know we touched on very general points more than the use of the platform. We did look at the functionality of social to nav, which is, I think, the major question these days. Think about anything else that you would want to ask, and tomorrow we'll cover that. I'll have answers for what I missed, the limit on our save sections, and when eventually we will see the social to lead impact the mobile users. Great. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so I'll see you tomorrow, and I'll make this recording available as soon as possible.